to. Just kidding. Anyways, Bliss just wanted
Yeah,
to
no
drop a
trigger
message,
words,
show you
guys.
some
No trigger
love
words.
and support. Definitely, I still am here, tuning into the morning yawning show as always.
Oh, peace and love to that. Thank you. And for those
Appreciate
who watching us on YouTube, appreciate that for coming in. If you want to know how,
I will say this without being too combative in my statement. I'll say this to my people, man. We have to understand why gun control laws are always surrounded around mass shootings. But we don't never hear anything about gun control when it comes to people being gunned down in the hood. Why? Because majority of the people being gunned down in the hood are people being gunned down with the legal firearms that they allowed to get into these communities to begin with.
Right. Also, well, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I mean, then when you look at the things that happen that they push the gun control laws, I mean, isn't somebody dying by a gun the same? When they scream all lives matter, shouldn't every life taken by a gun matter? So you see, this is the problem that I have when people are pushing certain gun laws. Because Chicago has one of the strictest gun laws in the country. But yet they've done nothing to curb gun violence. Does that make any sense? Is it about gun violence? Really? Is it? Or is it about a racist narrative, a racial narrative?
I believe it's both. Because it's one and the same. It's a plan. Like, look, if you go away from, once we got away from our natural environment, our natural habitat, our natural way of living, which is to love one another, now we have fear of one another. Like, they reversed it. Everything's reversed. It comes back to fear. You fear somebody's gonna take something from you, so you need a gun. You fear, I don't know, somebody's gonna rape your wife or family. You're gonna get you a gun. Now, these are things to protect yourself. Now, it's a double-edged sword. So now you have something to protect yourself, but now people are using it to rob, to rape, and steal. The same things that you were using it to stop, people are using it to further that agenda. So now we have a problem with gun law, but there is no guns law except one gun law, and it's the right to bear arms. It's your amendment.
Right to
It's your
bear
right.
arms.
The Creator gave you that right. Can't nobody take that away from you, and they can't give, because they didn't give it to you. They're only there to protect that right that you already have. Can't nobody take it from you. You know what they taught me in the military? If anybody comes to get your weapon, because you don't call it a gun, it's words of fucking spells, bro. It's a weapon. Why? Because it's a weapon. If you come against me, I'm going to use it as a weapon. You know what it is. It's a weapon. We never called it a gun. Ask the police. Ask the cop. He doesn't call it his gun. Because now it's murder. I shot you with my gun. No,
Yeah, they call it a service weapon.
It's my weapon. For that reason. There's no ifs, ands, or buts why I have this on me. Period.
So what's the difference between a weapon and a gun?
You can use a gun aggressively against somebody. There's no reason why I pulled out a gun on Bliss and he was just shopping in the supermarket. That's no weapon. Where's the weapon? You needed a weapon against me for that. That's when you should have your weapon. You understand? It's a difference. Difference. So words are everything. Everything. In court, in the law, they're not specific. The law is specific. They don't say, oh, you know what I mean. You never heard a lawyer say, you know what I mean. But we say that in court, oh, you know what I mean. No, I don't. Fucking tell us. Gun is gun, weapon is weapon. What the fuck do you mean? That's how you either go to jail or not go to jail. It's what you're talking about. Was it stand your ground with his weapon? Somebody attacked me. How you think George Zimmerman got away? He didn't say he had his gun and shot some black man. No such thing as a black man. You can't shoot a black man. It doesn't exist. We're calling ourselves stupid names You're not going to get justice because you can't kill a black person or a white person. You got to kill a national. Was it an American? Yes. Then we have to prosecute. Was it a black man from where? The country black? Where was he from? What's his nationality? Who's going to back him up? Who's going to fucking come to his aid? Nobody.
From Liberia.
But guess what? When they found out George Floyd, see, let me show you the difference. The whole world came together. Because it had nothing to do with his color, really. It did. The beginning of it. But the ending of it had to do with, they killed an American on American soil with an American badge saying, I've got an American flag on my fucking chest. What is that? That's what the shit was about. America's fucking empire is going to the dumpster. We got to save it. How are we going to save it? They just did. By convicting this guy. The whole world's talking about how great that was. You ever listen to the Europe section? Change your language on your fucking stereo sometimes. Go to these other countries and see what they're talking about. But we don't do that. We stay on English, stay in our same little circles, and argue with each other in our circles. When if you change your shit to Germany, you could be in a whole nother group of people you ain't never heard of, never seen on stereo, and they talk about the same stuff. But we're afraid to go over there because we can't speak the language. It's a language barrier. But they speak English. They're not coming over here because they were talking about craziness. We talking about colors and stuff. They don't understand that shit over there. I used to live in Germany. They never called me black one time. They called me American.
People of color from other countries, they just look at us with such disdain because we don't know who we are.
Facts. Honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days will be long. But if you don't know who your mama and daddy is, how can you do that? Who's their mamas and fathers? Can you name your great-grandparents 5 generations back on both sides? If you can't, don't tell me you black. I don't want to hear that shit. Because on their birth certificates, it did not say black. Go back and look. I've done the history. They done changed our names in the last 300 years, different times. Colored, black, Indian, Native American, this, that, mulatto, all of it. Devil, all of it. They call us all kinds of things. But guess what? Is any of it not you? No, because you all. If the creator is all, we all. I'm everything you call me and more. More. See? That's why people don't like me speaking on here. I like to say the love train, people all over the world. They like that shit. But when y'all get me on these UPC calls, I get in jail tomorrow. Because they know, keep him out of UPC. Keep him out of all of these other families. He can stay in the royal and all of that craziness. Even then, I'm not really, they worry about me over there too. I'm out. Yo, King.
You don't gotta tell, bro.
Dude, but I'm me. I'm me in the streets. I'm me everywhere. I'm me in the military. I was me everywhere I went. I lived in Africa. I lived over here. I lived in Germany. I lived everywhere, dude. You're gonna still see me. I'm not perfect though, but I'm me. At the end of the day, I'm be me. This is it. I'm what you see is what you get.
Facts. And you gotta let them stop separating us, man.
Facts. It's about nationality.
This is what it comes down to.
And before that, it was about tribes. Before that, it was about families. And before that, it was about all of us gathering. We were gatherers. They turned us into hunters. Once they turned us into hunters, we start hunting one another. Get back to gathering. That part. That's what they don't like. They want us to hunt each other. Peace.
We're tuning in here.
Peace, word.
Having my
Islam.
morning here at work on stereo.
Man, peace, Islam.
I got nothing. I'm still working. I'm doing what I need to do, but I got a lot of downtime here. But yeah, good morning. Just thought I'd say hey to you guys and see what's going on. I see something about morning yawning. I think I got the cobwebs out of my head. Not sure what UPC stands for. I'm not too savvy on my
acronyms. UPC stands for unpolitically correct. Yes. As you can tell, if you haven't noticed already, we are somewhat unpolitically correct.
I always say is you are part and parcel of the creator. Stop playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. That too.
That's how I always saw y'all, because y'all on some cosmic as above, so below. It ain't always just about down here. Y'all on some bringing both, even that coming together and that coming together, and all of it. It's the Merkaba, man. Everything's coming together. We're gatherers, not hunters. We're gatherers, not hunters. We were gatherers, not hunters. Our ancestors. Yeah. The roots. That's why we wearing red.
And we gotta realize, right, that, and I'm not gonna even go all the way in with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm gonna say is these right, that are in charge of this medical profession,
right?
They do practice traditional medicine, but the traditional medicine they practice is called allopathic medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That medicine was for warriors. All they knew how to do was dress wounds. If you got stabbed, they knew how to fix a stab wound. If your arm got cut off, your arm, it's triage.
Fact.
It wasn't healing.
But you know what? Well,
it wasn't healing.
Goes back to.
But this is the medical profession. This is the medical profession that we live under. Right. They've taken all of the healers and removed them. All they do is dress wounds. Look at the history of this medical profession. It's called allopathic medicine.
That's why I do.
That shit was made for warriors. Yeah, it was made for warriors to dress wounds and get them back on the battlefield so you can continue to go to war. So are they really fixing you, or are they just dressing wounds to put you back out into the workforce and continue to be the sheep that you are, or the cattle that you are?
Facts, because that's what you're eating now. You're gonna get back into that. Once you started eating meat, you became the meat. That you became what you was eating.
You are what you eat.
So what happened was they said Imhotep was the father of medicine. Well, who was the mother of medicine? She was way before Imhotep. He was just the father, the first of the men, patriarchal. But the matriarchal, they've been healing their sons. Who healed him? His mama. So how you the father of medicine when your mama was healing you?
And would that be the earth, dog?
That would be the earth. That would be the cosmic mother, the earthly mother, and your mama. The triple darkness, the triple God. You came through triple darkness. You came through your mother's womb, the earth's womb, and this cosmic womb all at the same time. Let's go now. Come on. Let's go, Bliss. You're going to get me. Woo. Let's go now.
Let's pop a bubble. The bubbles are going to keep us out of trouble.
Yeah, please.
The bubbles are going to do us good.
The reason for the gun violence, or the uptick in gun violence in Chicago, especially on the South Side, is because the music industry has its hand in the South Side of Chicago. The South Side of Chicago has been notorious for poor neighborhoods and high crime rates. So they took a situation that was already bad. It was a bunch of guys out there gangbanging over turf and money, and then they involved even more money in turf. So
but that's the trick.
I mean, the music industry and the prison industrial complex needs to be taken to task as far as the South Side of Chicago goes.
Goes back to the same thing. If we
City and Surfer.
Goes back to the same thing. If we was all vegans tomorrow, it would end the fucking gun violence. Why? Because they wouldn't have no money for bullets. Meat eaters is what paid for bullets. War. I'm telling you, because they control the meat. Stop eating meat. See what happens. The world, the whole world, stop eating meat. And watch the world change crazy overnight. I know the science behind it, y'all don't get it, because I'm not going to break down the whole science behind it, not here in 10 minutes. But I'm just trying to, we don't have time for that. It's a long story. We're going to have to do that, because it's a long story. But what I'm saying is, once they went from the matriarch or natural or nature, and they went to the patriarch as hunters, we began to change everything. We need to go back to gathering one another together and stop hunting each other, competing. This ain't no, pardon the French, dick swinging contest. I have nothing against Bliss. Bliss is an amazing person, and I'm happy to have known him in my life, even if it's on stereo.
Absolutely. Likewise.
How is that me being, I can't be. Why are we dealing in jealousy and envy? Especially on stereo. There's a lot of it going on because I know you're gonna talk about it.
I'm up in the Poconos now, but I got some plans to come down.
Dude, I pass through there all the time because I'm driving through Cleveland and stuff like that, back and forth. I'll be moving now. I'll be moving around. So I done went past the Poconos twice and said, "Damn, Bliss is right here already."
Yeah.
Passed you twice. Yeah, so you just never know. One of them days it's gonna be. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, my door is open, man. My door is open.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is welcome.
Yeah, I can go to Cleveland and write some songs in a couple of days.
Yeah, bet. Let me know.
King Cooley, yes, a natural state is to love each other.
Thank you.
To hate each other is also very natural for human beings.
Well, no.
I have to agree with Bliss. There's more of a narrative to all of this, especially when you see the way things are reported and certain details that are disclosed for certain groups of people and not for others. And yeah, I agree with Bliss.
Right. I agree, and I kind of disagree a little bit. I don't believe that it's natural to hate, because first you have to, if you want to love somebody, you have to first learn to love yourself. So in order to hate somebody, you got to first hate yourself. So if it's natural to hate yourself, then I agree with you then, but I don't think so. That's just me.
Good answer.
That's just me. I'm only talking to my truth. For her, she might feel it's different because her truth might be different for her. She might feel that it is, you know. So, yeah.
Everybody's square is their own square.
It's their own. There's nothing wrong with it. Right. Nobody's right or wrong.
Yeah. Right. At all.
I'm just saying that in my personal, I had to learn. I'm 53, so I had to learn to love me. There was no other love outside of that I could give. I couldn't get it from nobody. I was looking for love. I got 4 baby mamas, 5 kids. I'm trying to find it from everywhere. Abandonment issues and all of that. But I never abandoned
you telling my story?
You never got abandoned here. I never abandoned me. God never abandoned me. And Jesus said, look, I am my Father and I'm you. So wait, wait. It's a symbiotic connection. It's a connection here that doesn't break.
Never been abandoned.
It doesn't break. Yeah.
Never. Facts. Let's keep popping.
And furthermore, the reason for the gun violence, infiltrated those communities that were already poor and struggling.
I was going to
infiltrated them with drugs and guns and pointed them against each other. And we all know that the FBI documents and the police documents and the CI documents are all out now. The presidential orders from Ronald Reagan and others. So, we know what it is.
Right.
Absolutely.
We know what it is, but we got to also know what it is and still what it was and always will be. Is that they are going after more. Gangs did not come together to kill and rape and rob and steal. They came together to protect the community against the police. Yep. See, the gangs were...
And like everything else, they perverted it.
Right, they perverted it. Right. They brought in the drugs and the guns. Like he said, they brought in stuff into the community because they knew gangs was official at first. They started with the Moorish nations, El Rukins. You know, think about it. This all comes from Moorish culture. But they wanted to stop that, change it, and make it something perverted because you can never find out you're a Moor. Ever, never, never, ever, ever in any kind of weather. Because then, game on.
So-called white people look up amalgamated Moors.
Well, let's stop calling them white, right? We got to just stop calling them white.
That's why I said
right.
So-called.
I know. We'll say that one time. We're only going to say that one more time now, y'all. We're not going to call anybody no more colors, at least not here.
No
at least,
colors.
We don't have colors. We're not colors. You have a nationality. What's your nationality? And if you don't know, hit me on my Instagram. I got ways to find out your nationality for you. If you could tell me who your mama and daddy was and their mama and daddy, and I can go way back in your own ancestry. If you're too lazy to do it yourself, pay me. I'll go back 5 generations for you. Now, and I'll tell you what your nationality is. Now. And it had nothing to do with white or black. Those things didn't exist. Right. Those are new concepts. Those are race isms. Isms. Any ism is trying to get paid off you. If it says ism on the back, it's to get a couple dollars out your pocket now.
is a status, black is a status.
Socialism, capitalism, racism, any isms, Islam isms, all these isms is here to take your money or your so-called energy, because there's no such thing as money no more. It's only the faith and credit of the people. So if I believe that you got $20, you're gonna give it to me. Is it good to some? If I give it to somebody else, Bliss tell me, yo, if you give this to somebody else, this Bitcoin, somebody else gonna take it. So that makes it real. And I'm thinking like, God damn, I guess so. If I gave somebody monopoly money and y'all said, look, in UPC, we're gonna come up with our own UPC money, but it's good only amongst us. But every time somebody come in, they get to use your money, so it grows.
Facts.
What you make real is real. Just like all this other shit is out here that's really not real. But if you believe
and that should tell you we have the ability to manifest whatever it is we want.
But if they can control your mind and make you think certain
and
shit,
make you manifest
these are not your thoughts.
First
of all, these are not your thoughts. They're not your thoughts. You think these are your thoughts. They're not. Right.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
That part.
Facts. Well, let's keep popping up.
Well, King Cooley, I can tell you that in New York City, if you pick up anything and use it against someone, even if it's in self-defense, it's considered a weapon. So if someone was attacking me and I picked up a coffee mug or a pencil or a tennis racket and I used it in self-defense against another person, it is considered a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is true.
That's exactly what he just said.
Right. So if you took a weapon called a so-called gun and shot somebody with it and killed them, you're going to do 25 to life. If you took that same coffee mug and cracked it over his skull and it killed him, you're doing 25 to life. It doesn't. What are you saying? All I'm saying is it's not the gun that needs laws.
That coffee mug, and you use that coffee mug and crack them over the skull to protect yourself.
You're still going to jail.
Self-defense.
Oh, unless it's self-defense.
That's a weapon.
Right.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
It's self-defense is self-defense. See what I'm saying is the law is there to protect us, not to harm us. It should be. So when people say we should have gun laws, I disagree. There was already a gun law called the right to bear arms.
It's already. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, if you a criminal and you blah, 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 you do these other things, then you have given up your rights. See, you got to understand, when you signed contract, you gave up your rights. When you went to go register your gun, you gave up the right to have it. Now, pay attention. You already had the right.
In the state of Pennsylvania, you can go, of course, they're going to do a background check.
Why,
but you can go into a store.
You don't ask why you do this.
I mean, you already know.
Well, right.
You already.
So they can say, they can give guns to who they want to give guns to.
Right.
And the good,
but, you know,
still getting to the streets though.
Yet and still, they run a background check, but you don't have to register that weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, because this is an open carry state.
All states are open carry.
They should be.
No, the law says it. See?
The law says, but most people don't know it.
They're going against the law. Then you sue them. Then you sue them for going against the law.
Right. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
It's no excuse. The pen is mightier than the sword. We don't have to fight people with guns and violence. That's not how you win wars. You win it with a pen.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute facts. And that's the thing.
So study the law.
You know what I mean?
The best thing for us is to get on here and go page by page with the Constitution. So we all understand it the same.
And
that's what we should be doing.
And if we understand who we are in the law.
Right. That's first.
Life would become a lot easier.
Studying yourself is first. In order to preserve yourself is to study yourself. In order to love yourself is to study yourself. In order to grow, you have to study yourself. It all goes back to studying yourself.
And Doc Bay, let's grow.
Facts.
Let's grow.
Keep growing. There's no way. You cannot grow. Your skin sheds every day. You died last night. You didn't know it, but you rebirthed all the new skins and cells when you woke up. It's just the way nature is. You go against nature, then you die. Your cells don't rejuvenate. You get sick. It's called cancer, but it's mental. All cancers start up in the mind first. But I don't want to go there either. That's going to be touchy subjects, and I will have to go live. I mean, I have to go private. But let's keep going public.
Yeah, let's pop a bubble. The bubbles keep us out of trouble.
Right.
An engine of war that throws rocks, weapon, an item used in defense.
Thank you. I love this brother right here. Who is this brother? I'm following him right now. Who is this brother? Do I have him already? Do I already have him in my database? He's probably already in mine. But if he's not,
I don't know.
I'm about to yeah, he's got my attention. Because he went back and did he didn't just listen to me talk. I'm already following him. Of course. Oh no, I'm not. He's following me though. My brother, I was following you, but you know, Stereo unfollows me from certain people. I already noticed that.
Yeah, Stereo does that shit.
Certain people, they'll let me stop following forever. But certain people, they unfollow me every day. But whatever, I'm following you back right now, live. Okay? Damn, that brother's, he went back and said, look, let me do the knowledge. I came back. He said, he's right. They're two different things. Appreciate you.
Yes.
I'd rather people come back and tell me if I'm wrong too. You know, I'm not always right.
Again, that's in law.
That's law. We talking right. Because we could pull up the Black's Law Dictionary and we talking law. Right, exactly. First to the 5th edition, because after the 5th edition, they got wind of everything and they started changing. So before 1960, around there, before that, because civil rights changed everything. It's a long story. Yeah, that's private.
And the most you probably get would be the 9th. If you go anywhere past the 9th, forget about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't even go past the 5th. I don't go past.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, the water downs were light from the 5th to the 9th. Yeah. But once you got to the 9th,
but they were adding certain things,
drastic difference
that didn't exist, like civil rights, all this other stuff. So you started, they didn't exist before that. So you like that. That's right. All. Anything up until the 10th Bill of Rights. Once they start doing amendments, see, that's when that's when you use those other ones. When you're talking about amendments after 10,
like 14,
you're talking about you're talking about the first 10, you stay, exactly. Right. 11, 12, 13, 14.
That's gonna be me and your motto, yo. When we rock together.
That's gonna have to definitely be that's gonna be fans only though. Since either subscribe to you or me right now. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a fans only one. That's gonna have to be.
Yeah. We build it, man. I just got my subscriber joint.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did I tap in yet?
I'm a rookie. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't tap it. Now I did. I'm subscribed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the love, beloved. You already know I'm tapped in. You know, but yeah, man, definitely appreciative of, the opportunity to always build. Not just with yourself, but to have people like Doc Bay. I look at Doc Bay, I'm a very aggressive person like you, right? Alpha male, but aggressive alpha male.
But with a heart.
But then you have different kinds, right? Then you have different kinds of alpha male. You have an alpha male that's like Doc Bay, who's so enriched in wisdom that even an alpha male like myself, like who's aggressive, right? Yo, I sit back and I listen. Like I just, you know what I mean? I fall back and I listen because I know that there's wisdom behind it. Like when the Earth Lady Bomber speaks, I sit back, I shut up and I listen. You know what I mean? Because a wise person knows when it's time to teach and when it's time to learn. So when Doc Bay step in the chamber or Lady Bomber step in the chamber, you know what I mean? Even when you step in the chamber, I look forward to sharing the stage with Doc Bay and just being able to just sit back and absorb. Too many people, bro, this is the problem that we have, right? And why so much information has gotten lost over time. Yes, a lot has been hidden. But a lot has been lost because we ain't willing to listen and OGs ain't willing to teach.
Right. Exactly.
So young dudes is like, ain't nobody listening to these old motherfuckers. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. You done had your time. And the old people like, look at these young people.
This grade for a reason. There's a reason why I'm bald. There's a reason why I ain't got no teeth. You ain't gonna never get there though.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that comes with wisdom, man. That comes with experience.
I went to California. When I went to LA, this is years ago, maybe 10. And I started growing a little gray. And it was like, damn, OG. I'm like, OG, only 40. They said, yeah, but we don't live to be 40 out here, man. It's a blessing to see an OG. I'm thinking, wow. That shit hit my heart, son. That shit.
Yeah, it's a realization. It's a realization of what we face out here. You understand? It is definitely a realization, man. You know, especially when you've grown up in certain environments, right? And through perseverance and shit, you've been able to, you know, gather yourself to some level of, you know, freedom away from that type of environment. You know what I mean? And then when you go back and you see, you know, as happy as you are and as proud as you are, you know, for me, that I made a better way for my children than I had, which is what's supposed to be my. But there is still a level of guilt of, damn, why the fuck did I get to make it out? And that shows the sick fucking mentality that's programmed in us. That you can even have that type of thought process to where you feel guilty that you made it out of a fucked up situation. Think about that for a second. Like, that shit's crazy. But let's pop a bubble.
I hate to break it to you, King Cooley, but George Floyd's situation from beginning to end has done nothing but divide us. It has not united anybody. If anything, it's united people who have critical thinking capabilities versus those who don't.
Well, I don't think I said it brought us together. I think we're both in agreement there. I never said it brought us together. I agree with you. I think it was just a miscommunication.
It separated us in some ways, and it's brought us together in others.
Well, it brought us.
Yes, I agree with the critical thinking aspect, but I think where it separated us the most, and where it was designed to separate us. See, race is just the narrative.
Colors.
Right. But look, that's just the narrative that's being used. The real division is between the people and law enforcement. It is to drive a level of dissension and separation and create a total lack of respect from one group to the other.
Well, also,
the reason why they want to do this is because the same way they have done the prison complex is the same way they want to do police. They want to privatize it and make it corporate.
Well, what it did also was to make you trust your congressmen and senators more. We were losing faith in the system, and it created more trust back into the political system. And y'all all went for it with the Biden thing. Not everybody, but it was all a big push. Get rid of the devil, Trump, and all of that dumb shit that we went through at the same time, along with the virus. At the same time, y'all didn't understand the triple darkness. Triple darkness. They got to hit you 3 different times. Bang, bang, bang. Mentally, physically, and spiritually. Mentally, physically, and spiritually. Now, it did bring us together as people. Like you said, it did. The whole world came together under one idea, one thought. So it didn't bring us together as people, no, but it brought our minds together, one mind. It reminded us and remembered us once, all at once, which means it's possible to do it again. Well, 1 second, Bliss. It's possible to do it again, but this time under positive influences, not negative. If we can bring the whole world under one thing negatively, of something that happened negative, you could do the same thing with something positive, but they won't do that. They always give you 911.
This is where they fuck up. Yeah, this is where the bad always fucks up, right? Because while the whole world may have been awoken to something that was negative, right? Like you stated, Griswold, it woke up a lot of critical thinkers. And then those critical thinkers like myself started disseminating information properly that the news wasn't disseminating, right? Then what that started to do was it created a whole new vibe, a whole new megahertz, right? Where now the wavelength is starting to push from the direction of negative to positive, because you have truth being told in regards to a situation. So just like here, there's truth being told in the UK. So as much as they wanted to use these situations, from the virus to the race to all of these other things, the more they do that, the more they allow the critical thinkers evidence to continue to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They only continue to expose themselves. So while it may not seem in the moment, but over time, truth always prevails. And by them constantly putting these narratives out there, they allow them to be criticized. They allow them to be shitted on. They allow them to be stripped down to the barest core, to the point where they have to ban us and, you know, do things like that on different platforms. So every time they introduce a fucked up narrative, we come with a whole different element to it, and it evens it out. Far more people are waking up now than there were that was sleeping. And it's because of these fucked up narratives that they push. We wouldn't, I know me personally, I wouldn't, if I wasn't a thinker, if I wasn't able to think for myself and to, you know, what information I deem necessary, how to control my energy, how to control my space, how to control my square. Everybody's so quick to want to control the outside. Oh, the outside is this and the outside is that. Yeah, that's because the outside is the way that it is because far too many people don't have control of the inside. If more people had control of the inside, the outside wouldn't look as fucked up because people would be happy with who the fuck they are. Nobody would be selfish. Nobody would be greedy. All of these things are things that people deal with internally. And then they project themselves out into society. Everybody wants to control gun laws. Everybody wants to control this. Everybody wants to control that. Everybody wants to control this. Everybody control your fucking selves.
Right. But while we're worrying about all this, China's controlling your money.
Huh.
We're worrying about the wrong shit, bro. I mean, not that it's not things to worry about, but you can stop it at the core if you stop the money flows certain fucking ways. You can't. I was in the military. It costs money to buy bullets. Guess who signs off on that? American people. Every day. Every day. You need that. You need them to sign off. So you get your senators and all that to speak in front of you. We need this. And y'all, yeah. Yes, vote, vote, vote. They vote. Trillions of dollars is being funneled all over this planet, different places. We're not sure where it's going, what's doing. We don't follow the yellow brick road. They told us that since we was a fucking kid. And Dorothy, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the gold. Why we stopped following the gold? We lost our way. We following Bitcoins and the munchkins and the munchkins and all of that.
We're on our way to the Lollipop Guild.
The Wizard of Oz was the Wizard of Ounces. How much does a Bitcoin weigh? Does anybody know how much it weighs? No, I'm just saying. How much does a Bitcoin weigh? Yeah, it's not tangible. It's not fungible. Not like gold.
Hey, that kind of sounds like that how they do things over in China where, you know, they can literally just shut your shit off.
What if they turned off the computer system right now? They have control of the internet. What if they turned off the internet right now? People would jump out their fucking windows.
I got cash on the barrel.
But I'm just saying, they would jump out the window because they would have nothing to do. They don't know how to go back to it without the internet. No internet? Never? No more Facebook? Never? They would jump out the fucking window. A lot of these people, they don't have a clue. No music? No, they don't know how to go back to putting a quarter in the phone to call somebody? What is that?
Yo, real shit. I'd go back to fucking researching 9 hours a day instead of being on stereo. I'd go back.
I'd have 9 languages under my belt. Bliss, are you kidding?
You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
We forgot how to really think. We forgot because everything is smart now. We're dumb. TV smart, refrigerator smart. My stool can come to me probably if I called it. Come here, stool. Like, the fuck, where are we? In the Jetsons? How come in Flintstones and the Jetsons we weren't there? In the past or the future? What happened? They didn't talk about you. I always wondered as a kid. Now, see, I didn't just think about this. I thought about that as a little boy. No, as a little 8-year-old boy.
Answer this question.
Bro, Bliss, I know. I ain't 1 second, but this is at 8 years old. I thought about that. It's not as an adult.
I don't mean to cut your wisdom, guys.
At 8, I was like, why are we not in the past?
I'm laughing because holy shit. But I'm posing a question to the people. Y'all got to answer the man's question. Yo, where the fuck was people of color in the Flintstones and the Jetsons? So they wasn't in history or the future. Where was y'all got to answer this question. I swear to God, this will be a topic on every show I do until y'all fucking answer.
I would ask an
question.
8-year-old, because the 8-year-old is the one who thought it up. It was my 8-year-old brain that came up with that. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? I'm watching Tom and Jerry. Fuck this shit.
Facts. Yo. Oh my gosh. Let's pop some bubbles quick.
I think that was a very poignant point. What is that? King Cooley?
Yes, sir, brother.
I said your name right, brother. And what's up?
Ryan Doe.
Yeah, man, that's a very poignant point. It's funny how we can look past race when we want to in this country. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, or when a situation is so blatant,
Facts.
like
I agree with you.
The death is murder. When it's as blatant as that, we can do that. But just day-to-day life, you know,
Facts.
Interacting with your fellow
Why should we do this every day?
Never seem to just be stuck in this rut of viewing each other through lenses that don't really
serve us no good.
Encapsulate who we are as people. You know, I think where people are from, their culture, their heritage, what music they listen to, what things they like to do, that's so much more important than being black or white.
Right. That's why I think media is so dangerous. Because it's the most effective, MEDIA, most effective devil or destroyer in America. Because they plant thoughts in your head and seeds that are not your thoughts. Then they
how do things grow, beloved? How do you grow something?
From the earth.
You must first seed the land, right? Yeah. And then you have to plant seed.
Facts.
And then they water it,
give it
fertilize
life.
it, give it life. The concept does not change from the seed in the ground to the seed of thought.
And then
it doesn't change.
Then you eat off the tree, the fruit. What? They still got you, even with your children, bearing the fruit of it. It's crazy. We got to get out of that system. We are a hamster in a wheel. Hamster in a wheel going nowhere fast. Very fast. We're getting faster at it, but still going nowhere.
How that song used to go? Got me going in circles. Circles. But let's keep popping some bubbles.
I agree with you, King Cooley. It would be great if people could somehow see other people's backgrounds and ethnicities and realize we're all more related than we think. But the media and these politicians have other agendas.
I just said that. I just said it.
Solely based on what we see. So, from skin tone to the brands of clothing you all have, to the brand of car you have, to what jobs you have. I agree with you.
No, my point is that she said it minutes ago. I just said it. The synchronicities are amazing.
That's the vibe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's synchronicity. You can't say that.
I got you.
Right. That's what I was trying to expound upon.
Oh, no, bro. Trust me.
That shit is crazy. Like, she said that already. I picked up on vibe, energy. I really pulled it from from there, but without playing it. I didn't even see that, but I'm sitting here chilling. You see, I'm not pressing no buttons. Nothing. Synchronicities is everything. If y'all not understanding that we're in the age of Aquarius and certain antennas are popping off between each other, y'all are missing out while we're alive right now.
The Great Awakening, man.
The best part of being alive right now is not if we could change things because you change the way you think. Change the way you think and the way you act is because you love yourself. You love yourself, your cells begin to love each other. All the trillions of cells in your body hate each other. Hate. Fucking bicker, fight, gun control. All of that's in your cells. You calling this existence into your own body. So when the cops come and grab you, your cells are saying, fuck him, police, hate him, Because you said that to your cells every day. Say, no, this cop loves his family. He wants to go home tonight. So do I. He knows I love my family. We're going to both start right there. Don't we both want to go home to our families? Okay, how can we resolve? Let's talk. That's where it starts, man. Love. Tap into that love. He got love for his family. So do you. He knows it. None of us want to not go home today. But it's a possibility because that's the danger of his job and it's the danger of a criminal being black. It's your job. Don't fall into the emotions of it. Deal with it. I know it's hard to say right now. The gun is on your face and all. I know I've been there. I know it sounds crazy. This nigga's talking shit. Pardon my French. But I know that's what y'all thinking. Right. That's what y'all thinking. But it's not. Yo, love is powerful, bruh. Believe me. It changed my life.
Mine as well.
And that's just my truth, though. You know? I'm 53 who could say that right now. And I gotta say, if I pass tomorrow, I had a good life, yo. I'm not gonna front, even with all the stuff that happened.
You know, I know that I've walked in my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It might have taken me far longer than it should have, but it took me exactly how long it should have, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I
divine time.
Not only have I walked in it, I continue to walk in it.
Well,
so
once you know better, you do better. What did they tell Lot's wife? If she looked back, she's gonna turn into a pillar of salt. Why? You knew better, and you still wanted to go back to what you knew wasn't serving you no good. You're gonna go back to being that which is gonna destroy you.
Let's keep popping.
But it's easy to settle for denominations. You know, I think it's funny. You know, we live in a culture now where we cancel everything. We're canceling everything and everyone.
Mm-hmm. Instead of coming together.
To that we still subscribe to a race, and that's for everybody. I think that's funny. We still have yet to cancel race.
Ooh, I love him. So, I'm following all your people.
They could put that on the ticker at some point. We can handle that. No, I don't know. But thank you, gentlemen, man.
No, thank you. I just followed you.
Thank you.
Yo, your people, this room is hot now.
Hey, man. This is a UPC chamber, beloved.
I'm like, whoa. You know but being on the hot seat is
different. How we get down.
I'll be in the back, too, but on the hot seat is a whole nother
thing. You usually in the, you know what I mean? You come through, my guy.
You're right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does get busy in the UPC chamber, man. Well, mine for sure.
They get
mine
it,
for sure. Cause I got envelopes out the ass, and I push them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
they ready for it. I guess they ready for it.
We cut from the same cloth, King Cooley. We cut from the same cloth, bro. We come from the same area, same. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of, you know what I mean. Our journey is extremely close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, man. You know, like we're gonna have a lot of the same views. Especially because, you know, I'm trying to ascend to a certain level of my journey that you've already, you know what I mean, obtained.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that as well. as far as a level of respect. When I say that OG type of status, like we're not, and this is the problem. Like we got to start teaching our youth what a real fucking OG is, yo. You know what I'm saying? What's gangster is getting your ass up every day. Look, let me tell you what a gangster is. A gangster is watching your family break apart, becoming a single parent, and having to fucking go to work every day, provide, cook dinner, clean the house. Then on top, nurture something that you're not, you know what I'm saying, designed to do. Try to remain, that's fucking gangster. That's fucking gangster.
That's why I said you turn our gangster into kingsters. So instead of being an OG, I'm an OK. Everything's gonna be okay. Why? Because you are a king now. You know, kingster. You know, dropped your rag and picked up your flag, which is the Moorish flag. And then soon we're gonna drop the flag because the flag represents that which they cover you with when you're dead. It's the same shape and size of the coffin. So we're gonna have to pick up back our family crest, because that's the shape of the womb. The womb is life. The flag is death.
Understand that lineage.
Flag is death. Like we all fighting over flags and countries, and that's all patriotic bullshit. The matriarchal says, nah, you're all my children. Man says, fight your brother. Kill him if you have to. Kill your father if he's the king, so you could be king. That's the man's culture. Yeah. And we worried about gun killing 7-year-old because some dude, they was killing their fathers to become king. It's that kind of culture we still live in. What does it mean to be an American? We were speaking about that this morning. And why are you proud to be an American? That's a great question. Because it goes back to Roman Greco culture. To Rome, when they was, you know, so that's what being proud to be American. It goes back to Egypt. When the patriarch took over the matriarch, destroyed the feminine, everything natural, and turned it into everything unnatural, out of nature. And that's how the Egyptians ruled over people. So we have to go back and think that all of that's in your genes. It's epigenetics. That's why it's called Genesis. The genes of Isis. We are Isis, so-called, quote unquote. The divine feminine and the divine masculine Osiris, the underworld. So you God and the devil at the same time. But that's for private chat now. Let's hear these bubbles. Bubble moment.
What up, y'all? I'm smoking tough, so
that's my guy.
I don't know if you guys are smoking or not, but I'll get high enough for the fucking 10 of us. So bless King Cooley. I love listening to you, man. Bless, you're dope as fuck. Bless you guys,
you brother.
Facts. The last Herzog. Shout out to him. I had a talk with him early on in my stereo career. He's a great dude. Y'all follow him.
Yeah, I appreciate you, beloved, for sure.
Good morning, Bliss. Good morning, King.
What up, Mama?
Hey.
Hope you guys are having an amazing start to your day. I am tuned in. I'm late, but I'm tuned in. Love you guys.
She joined the Purple Gang. She joined your Purple Gang? Or she's already part of your Purple Gang? Let me see.
Nah, yeah, she been part of the family.
Okay, that's dope. I seen her purple come up. I love when I see purple pop.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, she purple. Truth Cat is a subscriber.
iPad.
Oh no, she says a subscriber.
Love it.
She's one of
Yo,
your.
Tell me what's going on, man, because I'm on my iPad.
Okay, well, she's definitely one of your purples. So she should have been definitely up at the top of the list for priority message. But I'm saying that's
all right. So look, you're gonna take over the messages now.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you because you got some. Yeah, you got some fans.
And I'm on my iPad, and I still got that same old 9+ shit on there. Okay, so you're gonna have to get people up to the front, man, that belong, yo.
Right. Okay. I don't think I see any more. I'm gonna go through it again. But yeah, we're gonna go.
Yeah, unfortunately in New York, if the other person doesn't have a weapon, let's say they're just bigger and stronger than you, which happened to me. I was attacked by someone who was like double my size, and I picked up a coffee mug to try to defend myself. I didn't even swing it at them. I just picked it up. So trying to be like, if you come at me, I'm going to hit you. And I called the police. And unfortunately, I got arrested. I have to say the law is a little skewed and common sense is gone.
No, because you had a weapon against you. Right?
So she should.
You shouldn't. You probably fought it and got off. Now they're gonna arrest you at first because it's still his word against yours. At the end of the day, you're innocent until proven guilty. So they have to prove somebody did something.
Yeah, how'd that turn out? I'm curious.
They probably arrested both of them. Both of them got arrested at first, and then they figured it
out. Word.
So to be a voice for the other side, what do we do about these Trump supporters and nationalists and shit that go into a school and kill a bunch of kids?
Nothing.
With a assault rifle, AR-15 or whatever. I see some really insensitive stuff on social media about like pussy liberals want to take, guns away. And I'm like, man, if I was the parent of a kid, my son or daughter died at school because of one of these fucking nut jobs, and I saw somebody posted something like that, that would be heartbreaking. So what do we do about these mass shootings? Like, what is the answer?
Okay. See, this is where the tricky questions start. We always looking at that. Yes, we should do something about it. The parents, if I was a parent of that, I'd do something about it. Now, as a community, we have to read and study the laws. We are still part and parcel of what's going on. The reason why that person, probably not all the time, but was a little bit upset is because of something that happened maybe at work or something political, something he watched on the news, something on TV. It's an emotional outburst that they're creating. They're creating these monsters so that you can be mad at them and kill them, and they can do more law.
Let me ask a question. How many people have gotten hit and killed by cars?
Facts. Nobody's mad
where's
at
the Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage to remove cars from the road?
Where's the outrage to sue motor vehicles? Because they're the ones giving out licenses when you don't need a license to travel, right? So you sue motor vehicles. Right. We don't go to the right.
Yeah. So what we're saying here is that, well, what I'm saying is that you're gonna always have things. You have people that have nut allergies. So you have people that die from peanuts. Why do we not outlaw all fucking peanuts then?
McDonald's have probably killed more people than a motherfucker. Nobody's mad at McDonald's.
No, they allow them to put commercials on TV.
I'm just saying, so we can't say we mad at
fucking pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
We got pharmaceutical commercials all on TV that tell you may result in death.
These are things
that play that shit on TV.
When you see that sign 18 million served, what do you think that means? At least 10% of them probably are not being served anymore because they're not here. We have to stop with our decisions. Everything starts with a decision, period. Yes or no? Am I going to be racist this morning? No, I was yesterday. I know, and I was good at it yesterday. But today, nah. Probably go check
I have another question. What is that other side going to tell me, the parent of a child who died from sickle cell anemia, and there's no cure for it?
Well, when they tell you
that only affects people of color.
Well, if your parent died of just taking a vaccine to try to stay alive, but it didn't keep them alive, what do you say to that person? Because it's already happened.
I mean, I want to know what they say to the parent whose children were affected by them in the early stages of life and develop things like Down syndrome or multiple sclerosis and things like that.
Why?
What do they say to that?
Maybe that's
so. But we're not that same rush. I just say to everybody all the time, man, keep the same energy.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And all things that affect us. Yeah, keep the same energy.
Nobody's upset at
all things that
Planned
affect
Parenthood.
us.
Nobody's knocking Planned Parenthood's door.
Which are in 84% of neighborhoods of color.
Nobody's asking Monsanto's why they fucking harboring all the seeds. Yeah. There's no watermelons with seeds in it. You're not mad at that though.
No.
These are things that we can actually cure and fix. But that's what's actually making us sick at the same time. By not having watermelons with seeds, that guy probably went and did something crazy.
And then after being made sick, we're treated with allopathic medicine.
We don't have a problem with GMO foods. GMO
to dress us up and put us back out into the workforce to be the robots.
So until we can stop all of that, the rest of it won't stop either. Until your cells realize that you love it and not hate it, you won't stop getting sick. We got to start with yourselves first, and your trillions of cells that are listening to you every day. That's how the world reacts to what happens on the inside. So if I have to look at you when I hear things like that, in a way, because we have to look at ourselves first. Do you love yourself? That's an easy question, I know. But a lot of people say, yeah, of course. And then they think about it. Damn. Okay, well, okay, maybe not. Because of the things you do, the things you say. Oh, I hate my parents and hate this. You can't hate your parents till you hate yourself first. That means you hate you. I'm listening at a whole nother story. What you think you're telling me is not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a whole other story coming from you. Because we put these spells on ourselves, cells, and it causes your environment to react to it. Emotional, because we are vibrating beings. We're not our skin that we're in. You're gonna make me go private. Bliss, you getting 3 and 4. Y'all keep listen now. Y'all keep subscribing to Bliss. Now I see the bubbles popping up. Them purple bubbles is popping. Stop. Don't stop. I'm telling you, because y'all gonna wish y'all had when we go private. Shout out to Bliss. Subscribe to Bliss.
We being nice. Shout out to my brother King Cooley, man.
Because I might press the button at any moment. We have the power. Both Bliss and I, any one of us can press it at any moment without even telling the other host. It's just not even up to them.
Facts.
So that's the power about it. Good vibes only. Thank you for your donation. You do this every day now. You are too much. I know you need your energy for the Caribbean. Now they need you. You do this every day. She makes me blush. Oh my God. She donates every. You know those people that just every day you see like, damn, stop, please.
Constantly love it.
Constantly love it. Oh my God, she's amazing. There's a lot of amazing people on this app, and I swear when we decide to leave the app, please keep in touch with me, y'all. For real. If I decide to leave this, some of y'all, man, y'all stay in touch with me. For real.
Yeah,
let's get the bubbles going. I'm still on. Oh yeah. For those that just pulled up in the room, we're live on YouTube. If you tap my avatar, you can see me in living color. I always try to do my things live as well on YouTube. It protects all of our energy at the same time from stereo, and YouTube, it protects you. Y'all gotta start learning how to do that. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me to take care of that because you might have some VIPs.
I can't see it. I don't want to overlook somebody.
You got a couple of VIPs. I'm gonna let the VIPs go first now.
Yeah, that last Herzog dude, fucking shill, man. That's called propaganda right there, everybody. Don't listen to that. None of that, what he said was true. He's got no facts to support what he said. All lies.
No, I think what he said was, if I was playing the other side. I think he was saying that in a hypothetical sense. I don't even think that he was saying that as if that was his view. I think he was saying it in the sense of, what would we say to the other side if he was playing devil's advocate and speaking for the other side? How would we respond to that? I don't think that at least that's how it was phrased. So that's how I took it in my response.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to play it back, but I did believe, I understand where he's coming from, because he did say something about Trump supporters and blah blah blah. Because once you get to certain political things, I might not believe everything he said. Yeah, but the majority of the meat.
If I'm not mistaken,
right.
If I'm not mistaken, he prefaced everything by saying, "If I was to play devil's advocate,
right, okay.
here for a moment,
well, we'll go ahead and
speak for the other side."
We'll move on.
Play it back. Play it back.
All right, I'm gonna go find
so that we
can stay.
We
can have the real. Where was it? What's his other name? They be giving people the other name.
It was the Herzog.
Right. But what's his other name? The Humble Line? Nah. Nah, that's not. Jay Williams? Nope. Let me see.
I believe, I'm almost positive he prefaced it by saying, if I were to play devil's advocate and speak for the other side.
Right. So is he Jay Williams? Let me see.
So to be a voice for the other side, what do we do about these Trump supporters and nationalists and shit that go into a school and kill a bunch of kids with a assault rifle, AR-15 or whatever? I see some really insensitive stuff on social media about like pussy liberals want to take guns away, and I'm like, man, if I was the parent of a kid, my son or daughter died at school because of one of these fucking nut jobs, and I saw somebody posted something like that, that would be heartbreaking. So what do we do about these mass shootings? Like, what is the answer?
Like I said, if everybody had a gun on their hip, it wouldn't be mass shootings. I'm gonna tell you that right
number
now.
one, and number two, I'm not gonna feel any more sorry or less sorry for a mass shooting at a school than I do a mass shooting at a fucking basketball.
I don't care, no mass shooting.
You know what I'm saying?
Even
that they don't call a mass shooting. That they don't call a mass shooting. That they don't put on the TV in the same fashion. You're not seeing that shit in the same fashion.
I don't want to.
You might catch that. You hear about it word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? Can you tell me how many people were shot in Chicago over this past weekend? No.
They're not gonna tell you.
Can you tell me how many people were shot in Camden this weekend?
Nope.
No.
Not
but you can tell me the one that's racially driven.
By the media.
You can tell me the several that's racially driven.
Media has a job.
Yeah, you can say her name, Breonna Taylor, me to death.
But
ain't nobody know about Jaslyn Adams when I first started this podcast this morning. Me and King Cooley chopped it up about that. Ain't nobody know who Jaslyn Adams was. What does that tell us? But what does that tell us? That tells us that whatever media is out there, they're controlling a narrative. So why is it okay to hear about gun violence in one neighborhood, but you don't hear about it in another neighborhood? When they're responsible for it in both fucking neighborhoods. But, I'm just talking shit.
Nah, everybody got to get it out. Otherwise, we're going to keep holding it in, harboring these emotions. Emotions is energy in motion. If we can't move past this, we're going to just harbor it. We can't harbor this shit.
There's no such thing as an assault rifle. AR stands for armor light rifle. AR does not stand for assault rifle. It's up to you how you use a weapon. Mm-hmm. You can take a brick and assault someone with it. Mm-hmm. You can take a car and assault someone with it. Mm-hmm. You can take your fists and assault someone with it. You can take a gun and leave it in your house and never assault anyone with it.
It's just a weapon.
Breaks into your house, that's a defense weapon. And you'd be glad you had
weapon. He called it a weapon. Keyword, weapon. See? He knows how to get off. Certain words. We say certain things, you're going to jail. I'm just saying. You put yourself really in hot water, to tell you the truth. About things that we speak. We're going to keep moving on because I know I talk too much. I talk too much.
I would like to see what that last Herzog dude has to say to the people who live in the countries where they're right to defend themselves has been taken away, but the criminals still have guns, and those people were shot and killed inside their own homes. If you think that doesn't happen, you're a fucking idiot. So if you don't like guns, don't own them. But you know what most people don't like, you included, is being told what to do by people who don't have the same ideas as you. So be careful how many rights you're willing to give up, because eventually it'll be all of them.
It'll be all of them. They have to get you to volunteer to waive your right. They don't just take them. You waive them. They can't just take them. You have to waive and sign off on them, even if you don't know that that's what you're doing. But that's for a private chat.
Grand Rising Kings.
Hey, there she is. Thank you for your donation.
122.
Peace.
How's your day going? I hope you guys are having a good morning. Hi to everybody in the chat, in the room. Just passing through Good Vibes Only One, showing some love.
You always do.
Topic today. Topic is awesome. It get us thinking and thinking outside of the box. So thank you so much. This is awesome, and I just want to show gratitude.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
So much. Yes.
And I'm having a phenomenal morning. My company on this stage is stupendous.
Yeah, man.
The commentary is phenomenal.
And it's respectful. Everybody can disagree to agree, but it's still with love.
Facts. The energy in the room. The energy in the room is outstanding. We are here. Good vibes only, man. It's like the Moor said, man, good vibes only, whether we agree or disagree or agree to disagree, man. Good vibes only.
Fact.
Good vibes only. Real shit. Let's keep putting it up.
For those who, eat the meat, spit out the bones. But if you're a vegan, you already know what to eat naturally. I don't have to tell you like that. You just here to remind yourself not to eat meat.
King Cooley, did we not already have this conversation about this donation thing? Like,
I know, but you keep my heart, man.
I pay for Netflix that I don't even watch. I pay for a lot of other things that I've stopped paying for because I don't even use them. So I come here, you guys are talking conscious things and sending out a conscious message. So I donate because I choose to donate. I'm here. I may not be here for long, but I've come in, I've heard the conversation, and it deserves a donation, a lot more than I've put in. So keep up the good work, King Emperor. And yeah, just don't mind me donating. I choose. I'm not here to get shout out for donation. I'm not here to collect a fan base or love or likes. I donate because I genuinely love the conversation that's being had.
And can I just say, real quick, good vibes only. I get it. I just always have to say, because my heart speaks differently than my mind sometimes. They're in the same place, but it tells the mind to get ye behind me sometimes, and so I speak from the heart. But I want to also say she's absolutely right, because I've offered her since she's one of my super fans. I think she's #1 supporter of all the donations, and I've offered her a chance to get a purple button, and she didn't even want it. She didn't even. That's not why she. I'm like,
hey, what does that tell you?
I gave her the code. She had a chance to get a code, and she didn't even take it. I'm like, that showed me like, damn, I'm trying to give back, and she doesn't need. No, it's not about that for her. She's gonna get hers other ways. She knows.
That's so much.
That's why I say what I say.
1 minute.
That's why I say what I say.
Her entire statement said so much in 1 minute.
Right.
She left. She could have dropped the mic at, I pay for Netflix that I don't watch.
Right.
And she could have left it at that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the love and the appreciation is definitely felt in your verbiage, beloved. I assure you it is.
Right.
I assure you it. Message well received.
We got some more VIPs real quick.
I apologize if I misunderstood, but anybody that sells you that that idea of relinquishing your rights as good, they're incorrect. That's not a good idea. Don't give any rights up. God gave you your rights. No man should be able to take them away from you.
Right. We're all in agreement. I'm in agreement with it.
Bliss, I was just about to say her name before you did, man. Jaslyn Adams. If you don't know who she is, that tells everybody it's a sad state of propaganda news networks in this country. Innocent little girl shot in the car with her dad.
Yeah, those guys should be
stuck up. I always end up hearing one of you guys when I need it. I just turn on the app and there it is. Bam. It's always the right timing. Must be some kind of divine intervention. That's all I can say.
Of course.
Appreciate you, humble lion. Always on point. Always on time, bro. Always.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I agree with you fully, Bliss, because I'm about to give up my age, but the last time I seen this happen was around 9/11, and I felt like a lone wolf trying to wake people up, and nobody wanted to listen to me. And I was the tinfoil hat of the day. And now, that's common knowledge. The shit that I was talking back then, people would be like, yeah, duh.
They unreleased those
documents. 15, 20 years from now, I can agree with all of us.
They don't have to wait 15, 20 years, man. That's part of them documents that got unsealed, man. That shit is straight up a black op. That shit was straight up a black op. That is not a conspiracy theory anymore. There are court documents to state it. And if anybody needs that, bro, I'd be happy to provide that shit to substantiate what the fuck I'm saying. That shit got a docket number and all that. Fuck what you heard. That's straight off the FBI website. Alright? So, yeah. That ain't no conspiracy theory no more, bro. Tell them fuck them and they tin hat.
Peace and love to everybody who's still here hanging with us, man.
Yes. Rocking.
Amazing.
Rocking.
Nobody's actually moving, huh? That's what I like. Your people stick around.
We did.
Oh, you guys are speaking my language this morning. Grand Rising, Bliss. Grand Rising, Emperor Cooley.
Jen Rich, good morning, beloved.
Wow. Wish I had turned you guys on earlier. Just getting to my first order this morning. But yeah, man. It's going to happen no matter what they do. We're all coming together no matter what.
Together.
Everybody's waking up. I see it all day, every day.
Thanks.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. Just have to keep telling the truth and keep talking to people. Like even
That's
when I switch through stereo shows now, even people that would normally have been talking shit are on some real shit.
Right, it's a different dynamic now. Right, you have to have a real platform, something to really talk about now. It's different. It's no more leaderboard crap. It's like, yeah, you do have who are you? That's what the subscriber button is for. Who are you? I can't talk right now, ma'am. Yeah, who are you? Nah. But I wanted to say to the Empress who just spoke, Jennifer, I see here, but I think you said Godwich. But Get Rich, yeah. She can also tap into my avatar and go to my YouTube page where you'll see it on my YouTube because we're live. So if you did miss some of it, you can go back there. And also, if you want to hear it again here on stereo after this, you can hear it on Bliss's channel maybe, because mine, as soon as I get off every live, my shit goes private. So if people want to listen to this from me, they'd have to hit me on the Instagram and all that, and maybe I'll send you a link depending on why you want to use it. But if you want to hear it again, you may be able to go to Bliss. I don't know how he does with his prior chats, but all of mine are private. But you can go to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube, and you can check it out over there. But you can see me, but you can only hear Bliss in the comments.
Yeah, definitely go to YouTube channel, subscribe. was locked in. I subscribed to
Right. Okay. Cool.
That's when I got put up on YouTube aspect. I wasn't aware of it. Aspect. Remember when I told you, man, divine timing, right?
Right.
Ra myself were having a conversation about you and Frank, and you know, we done with the conversation. I hop into the stereo app, and here you are live with Frank Lucas, and that's the first thing that opens up. And I said that to y'all in the show.
Oh wow.
Like that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy.
Right.
It was crazy.
Synchronicities. It's all about the
synchronicity.
Yeah. Because we don't understand that we're in a portal. See, they want to take you and put you in. See, I'm 3-dimensional, even though on YouTube I'm still 2-dimensional. On stereo, I'm 2-dimensional. We're always 2-dimensional. But you can see that I'm not the avatar that I was. So I'm 3-dimensional. But you can really tell me that because I'm on YouTube. See, I don't want people to get misconstrued that we're only these avatars. So the idea is you can come and see me as we're speaking live, and I'm not an avatar. I'm really me having a real conversation with you, the real you, not the avatar you. Right, that part. So it's a mind thing that it's necessary. You'll see. It'll pick up, and you'll see why I did what I did early on. But you know, the gods see the vision.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Do we have any more VIPs? Yes, we do. No, I think we played them. We got one more.
I'm not here for the purple button or the donation. I've thought about it, but it's not my purpose. And by having these things, it moves you away from what your purpose is. So my purpose on stereo is not to be, thinking about this subscription or this button to donate, but in actual fact, to spread conscious message and to make conscious changes. So everything else is secondary, and if that's what God decides, then that will happen with or without the purple button. But as it is right now, that's not important to me. What is important to me is to understand the environment I'm in and what I can do to also, add value to the environment, rich value to the environment. Like people say they're rich physically with physical stuff, but I'm rich mentally. So when I come to this table, I don't just come to eat. I come to also.
Wow. Have you had a conversation with her yet?
I have not. But I look forward.
I have, and I can't wait for the next ones. But yo, it was great. Now she and I are great because we go into this divine masculine, divine feminine thing, and it's amazing. People like the, we don't always agree to.
Yeah, I would
but the
definitely
love
love
is
to
there.
sit back and learn from her.
And if you want to see the chat that she and I had, shameless plug, you're gonna have to go to her channel. Mine's is private.
Not me.
Well, I'm just saying this is the conversation I had with her.
You know why? Because I'm a subscriber.
Well, I'm just saying
I'm tapped in.
The old show I did, I made private. Yeah. But if I do another show, it might be private. It might be fans only. Who knows?
Yeah.
We got some more fans only. No, we don't. We can go ahead and continue.
A lie is based on the truth. In fact, you cannot tell a lie unless you actually know the truth. So every time they lie to us, they give us a little bit of the truth. So
can't have it no other way.
We're slowly but surely putting it together.
Right. Even if they gave you 99% of the truth and 1% of it was a lie, they told you a lie. You got to pick out which the 1% they played.
Yep. What that is. What is that?
Grand Rising, King Cooley. Grand Rising, Bliss 1226. I hope you guys have a bright and productive podcast and even more bright and productive day. Yes. Shadow in his house, listening in.
What up, twin?
Shy break.
That's my twin. We have the same birthday.
Shout out to salute to the birthdays.
That's my twin on stereo now.
Yo, they've made it to where we don't even have phones without internet now. Like even your house phone is hooked up to your internet. Your cell phone obviously is hooked up to internet. We don't even have a phone. Like, how does anybody have a landline anymore? I don't know anybody. They made it to where we can't even, if they turned everything off on us, we couldn't communicate unless we walked out our front door and talked to our neighbor. Or got in our car and drove to the store. Like, you can't communicate with anybody unless you have internet now. They've got us where they want us. You're right, Cooley.
Not only that, they own the Bitcoin, and we're taking all of our energy and putting it into the Bitcoin so they could just snatch that rug from under you as well.
So, what a lot of people don't realize is the left in this country and around the world is like a big chorus, and the Chinese government is the maestro. So it's no coincidence, okay? It's no coincidence that the Trump administration was destroying them on their tariffs with the tariff war. And they rightfully should have been, because what was happening was it's like two people playing Monopoly, and every time one person passes go, they make $20, and every time the other person passes go, they make $200. That's what was happening between us and China, the tariffs. So they needed to be corrected. It's no coincidence that a virus that forces lockdowns and whatnot was released from the city where their viral research facility is located. They didn't even hide that fact. It's kind of a demonstration of power. There's no coincidence with that. Hold on, one message.
All right.
That's my guy. And furthermore, it's no coincidence that the left, the media arm of the left, mainstream media and whatnot, is promoting more division among the people in the United States. I mean, very, very logical tactic for communists to deploy is to divide the population by, ratcheting up tensions between the largest segment of the population and the second largest segment of the population. I mean, that's what anyone would logically do. So it's no coincidence that you're seeing more and more stories that trigger an emotional response from certain groups and whatnot, and ratchet up tensions. There's no coincidence that there's calls to break down our law enforcement and our criminal justice institutions. There's no coincidence that any of this stuff is happening. This is a coordinated Cold War.
Right, and I was in the military during the real Cold War against the Russians. I was there when Gorbachev had to knock down those walls. I was part of that. I had to guard the Czechoslovakian border when the wall was still up. So I was I'm not part of, but I was there when they was talking about the Iran-Contra and Oliver North, and right in the smack of everything. So we got a lot to unravel around here that still is affecting us to this day. We don't realize the shit that happened 50 years ago is happening right now, is the effect of it. The stuff that we're doing now doesn't affect us now. It affects our children 50 years from now. We think it's affecting us now. Oh, no. We're only getting the effects of the 70s, the 60s. That's what we're still seeing now. And we're fighting it, but it ain't going to finish fighting. The stuff we're doing now is going to be completed 50 years. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But we're still living in the 60s. In the mind of the corporation, not of the minds of the people. We have to bring the people back up to 2020, 21.
I feel like it's not the fact that we forgot, it's that no one put that out there. We used to have quilts, stories, art. There were ways for us to pass things down, and people stopped doing that because they felt segregated. Like I said, that's why I dislike boxes. It's like if I met someone who could speak a quadrillion languages, like that wouldn't faze me because I'm still struggling with my two. And why am I struggling with my two? Because when I speak my second, people look at me weird. Like, why is she even so who am I gonna practice with? The AI computer? Which is why they have like the texting and stuff now. So I can agree with some of the things you guys are saying, but other things are just environmental changes. I can't sit still and stay stagnant though. So how are we supposed to?
Right. But let's say they did get rid of the internet, then what?
How are we supposed to keep growing if we're staying in our own bubbles?
She's right.
But Grand Rising, you guys, I'm about to make me some Eggos. I got the munchies like real bad. I've been up since 4.
Facts. You making me hungry, Shadow, my twin.
Yeah.
But Shadow and I have a show coming up in June. She booked me like way in advance. I love her for that.
Yeah. Facts. Structure.
Yeah. Make sure that don't now. Ain't nobody in June, so don't say you're busy.
And also on the topic of police reform or race relations or whatnot. And again, this is not to say there doesn't need to be some reforms put in place. We learn as we go as a species. No one's saying that everything's fine the way it is. However, we have to recognize the fact that it's not logically consistent to have blanketed prejudice, right? A blanketed prejudice of law enforcement and say, well, because a handful of officers, bad officers, have done X, Y, and Z, all law enforcement is racist, or all law enforcement is this, or whatnot. It makes no sense to have that position and at the same time reject the notion that an entire race of people should be prejudiced or blanketed prejudice against because of a few bad actors, right? So it's the same thing. Like, well, you can't say all cops are evil because a handful have done this and not agree with of all races evil. If they have, you know what I mean?
Right. I agree. You can't say all of anything because only the all of anything. Creator. The creator is the only all. So if you say all and talking about the creator, then all exists under the creative force, and that is love. So all exists under love. The only thing that exists under love that we choose to focus on is the fear part of love. It's the fear of loving. That's the sickness. We have a fear of loving one another because we think we're supposed to hate one another. That's just the way it's supposed to be. The way it was all these times. And that's not true, man. I mean, we can change that. That's all. And you're the overthinker. Stop overthinking, bro. You already know this is the way it is now.
Yeah. So, and where it would be absurd for someone to say, right, we would immediately think it's absurd for someone to say, well, African Americans make up 13% of the population and account for over 50% of all homicides, 60% of all
of that's not true anyway.
Therefore, it's safe to say that most African Americans rob and kill, right? That would be absurd for most people to say that. And yet, there are 700,000 law enforcement officers in the United States, and there have only been, in 2021, 30 police shootings of African American males. So out of 700,000 officers, 30, and yet it's perfectly sensible to some people to say all law enforcement is racist against African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it statistically is absurd. However you cut it.
Exactly.
Well said.
I like a lot of stuff you said, but what I like to do is go into the symptoms. I like to go to the root of the problem and the roots of words and stuff like that. So the root of the problem is the police force. Why was it created in the first place? Because slaves was becoming free soon, and they had to still have a way to control the new slave that was going to be newly freed. Why was unions created? So that you could keep the new slaves who had all the skills out of the workforce by saying they had to join a union first. The slaves already had all the skills. They were the ones who were doing the work. It was the grocer and this one and that one that didn't have the skills of farming and having. So they created unions. And we still today try to join a union so bad we can't wait to get in. So my thing is, and we did more studying on why there's a police force, where the first gang came from. Why is it necessary to even carry a firearm? Who created the first firearm? We don't do the history or nothing. We talk a lot, but we don't do the reasons why things are the way they are. And the only way to change it is to study the origin of it.
And that's what people don't realize, that's what's important. In order to correct something, you have to know the root. You know, if people are dealing with mental illness, right? We have to know the root of that mental illness in order to deal with it.
Why they always ask the criminal, what's your motivation? What made you decide that you was gonna wake up. Yeah, you have to know. You have to know.
Yep.
What wakes you up in the morning? What the fuck woke you up to do this? That it's a motivation. It's something, your emotion, something that you pulled up from a past event, and you brought it to the future.
Facts.
That kind of crap. That's mental illness.
I'll answer the question in a roundabout way, but it's a conspiracy theory. Basically, the Flintstones are black people, and that's not the past. That's just under the Jetsons. This isn't mine. It's actually a popular conspiracy theory, but basically, the Flintstones are the poor people that are gathering the material, and the Jetsons are the rich people that get to benefit from it. And we all know that story. And if you've seen the movie, yes, Elroy makes a time machine to go back into the past, but the dog fucks it up. I mean, they're trying to go to the future, but the dog fucks it up and we get set to pass. But some would say that it just turned into a teleporter. He never really made a time machine. And even if he did, the dog broke it. And they just got teleported to the surface of the earth, where all the black people live with the dinosaurs.
What? I love it. I have to say, I absolutely love it. That's what I'm talking about. I have to say that I absolutely love that concept of it. And it makes the most sense. It's about the past, the present, and the future. And the best gift is being here right now. So the dog Astro, which is astrology or astrotheology, understood this, and he knew we was already in the now. There is no such thing. You guys are all fucking crazy. Now, you had Elroy, which is El Rey, or the Moor El, God, and Ray means king. Ra, Amin Ra, or Ray, comes from El Ra. Okay, so I don't know what you just said, bro. You are on fucking point.
Yeah, he's on fire with that one. He's on fire.
And me and you, I'm gonna expound on that a little bit, probably a little bit later, because you just opened up a whole nother fucking concept of some shit. But we'll talk about it later. We got the Duchess Shadow.
I feel like hard to be a human. Period. Like,
right,
what does
but
it mean to be a human?
That wasn't the question,
because right now you can change everything about you physically, but you can't. Your spirit, like, are you the one who's going to? Yes, I think it's hard for a little too long, but this looks good in these balls. Are you going to be the one who, like, has the morality check? You know, the inner things are the things that you should be focused on, instead of, like you guys said, race and are you an American? Are you European? Are you Asian? Like, where you come from? You know, I feel like if we all can, like you say, gut check the basics, you can.
Yeah. Agreed.
We're all human first, but there's something called genetics, and we can't skip past something about why it's passed through generation after generation. Why we don't just have our own set of genetics. Every individual will have their own set. But there's a reason why we have to connect to the past through our genes, not through our minds. The minds don't have to, only your genes. The genes.
So in the incident with the mug and me calling the police, I was arrested. And so the person at the time was my roommate. And I told him, but the apartment was mine. And I told the police, please don't let her stay in my apartment. Wow. Like, she's not good. She's going to do something. And sure enough, I spent overnight in jail and she robbed my house.
Oh, she didn't even go to jail.
Oh, shit.
They didn't even lock her up. That's because you didn't press charges probably on her, too. Well, she didn't do nothing. You just attacked her because she was big. Did she physically put her hands on you? See, that would be both parties would have to go to jail until we figure it out. Because injury is the only law. You can't injure anybody. That's the biggest part of the law. All that other shit is just codes, tributes, statutes, acts. Those are dumb. But the law, you can't injure anybody or their property. Those are rights.
I want to know something about guns and mass shooting. I want to know how many people actually know someone who died in one of these mass shootings. Like, I used to live in Colorado. I used to live right outside of Boulder. I don't know anyone that knows anyone that died in the shooting in Boulder, Colorado.
Mm.
When I went in Kroger the next morning, which is part of King Soopers grocery store that this happened in, they hadn't even told their employees what had happened. So if it was really this big deal, why didn't even the employees of the other stores know what had happened already? Just something to think about.
Well, yeah, a lot of untangling there. That would probably be a private chat for me. But I will say that, you know, the media. I will go back to the media again. MEDIA, the most effective devil or destroyer in America. We can't believe none of what the media say unless you do the research and manifest it yourself and find out. They have a purpose. Yeah, and if you go back and look at Obama and both Obama and Trump stated the media, nobody said that there's no law that says the media has to tell the truth. See? What law says that they have to tell the truth? There is none. So that's up to you if you take it for gospel truth or not.
And this is the thing, again, this is why it's not a good idea to think of issues purely from an emotional perspective or to wrap them up into mere emotions. It's normal to feel emotions, have emotional reactions to things. But when you're contemplating a serious issue, you can't infuse it with emotion because it breaks down your ability to think logically. And that's when you need to solve problems. So when it comes to mass shootings, okay, understand that assault rifles, right, weapons have been around for a very long time. The guns that have the ability to fire off multiple rounds quickly have been around a very long time. And mass shootings is a relatively new phenomenon that's happened, okay? So it can't be the guns, because if it were the guns, there would have been mass shootings constantly as soon as the ability to have, high-power magazines available were available. Hold on, one more message.
All right.
Sorry. And so it can't be the guns, okay? It's something culturally happening. Now, what has risen along with the incidence of mass shootings? Well, a couple things. One, digital technology. Media is consumed broadly, widely, and disseminated by pretty much anyone. And we've been highlighting mass shooters when they commit them, perpetrating them, and giving them a lot of airtime and delving into their past and their motivations and why, which is exactly what a mass shooter type person wants. They want attention. They want people to pay attention to them. In this mass of noise that's going on, no one's paying attention to me. No one cares about me. Yada yada yada. We need to stop reporting who the individuals are. There's no reason to know the name or why they did it or whatnot. If they're, especially when they're dead and already captured. Hold on, another message. Sorry, and so we need to stop doing that. Also, what's risen is the number of spaces where, of soft spaces, of areas where you're not allowed to bring firearm into, and those are the areas that are primarily targeted by mass shooters. Areas they know that they're going to be able to get a high body count without anyone returning fire. And so that's also increased the spaces you can't bring fire. So, let's look at Chicago. Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. In 2020, there were about over 700 killings by firearms. Okay, so strict gun laws do not lead to less killings. Actually, some could say there's a correlation that actually shows there's an increase in killings when you impose stricter gun laws. So going after guns isn't the answer. I know I understand the spirit of that, and I know that's coming from, but that's not a sensible solution.
Right. And I have to say, go back to the study of gangs. What were they used for in the beginning? And the study of why Chicago gangs in particular. And then you'll get to the story of why they attack them the most and why they leave guns just laying around in empty subway cars for them to grab. Because they know they're the indigenous natives of those lands called Chicago. Where does the word Chicago come from? Yeah, you don't know either. You won't know because if you do the etymology, even etymology doesn't know. It's so old. Nobody knows the word Chicago comes from. See, it's ancient. But it was the first state's fair too, Chicago. We got to go and do a history of Chicago, do the history of gangs in Chicago, and then you'll get to the points of what we're trying to get to, why they pick certain areas. Like he said, they pick certain areas for a reason.
Same thing with St. Louis.
I'm the parent of it.
So, go ahead, Bill.
I said as well as St. Louis.
Yeah, all these areas.
Sorry.
New York.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it. And go back to the natives of those lands.
New Jersey.
Did they not say that they bought Manhattan for $12? Did they not say they bought Louisiana for like a couple bucks now? There's a reason for all of this crap. Now, we're getting back to the core of it, though. Because the people are tired. The people know that the land belongs to them. Who do they own the deficit to? Why do we owe $17 trillion? If I own somebody $17, they come knocking on the door. How you can owe somebody $17 trillion and nobody wants their money? Why? Because we, the people, haven't asked for our money back. That part.
I'm the parent of a child with a vaccine and you know what people say if I say something about vaccines being dangerous or ineffective online? They say that doesn't happen to everybody. That doesn't happen to everybody.
I agree. It doesn't.
So it's worth playing Russian roulette so we can find out who it happens to.
Exactly. It's not worth it for me.
It's the same thing with a gun, right? It doesn't happen to everybody. Except with a vaccine, we know that they have the capability of injuring everyone. And we know that a gun can only be shot if it's held by somebody who wants to fire that instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you got a fan in the bottom there, bro.
But I
want everybody do me a favor. I know this is a hot topic, but hold the comments. We're gonna start to break them down. This is where we start to end the morning show, but I want to make sure we get every one of y'all voices heard, man. Because if we don't do this with y'all, then what's the point of me fucking doing it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We want to hear everything y'all got to say. So allow Beloved to run through the fans first. We will get to everybody's comment. Make sure y'all liking this shit, clapping it up, subscribing, donating,
go to
following,
YouTube,
supporting.
subscribe YouTube, share it on YouTube because we're live also on YouTube.
To subscribe
at the same time. And I like to say to the beautiful Empress, it's funny how she says vaccine and gun. Both you have to get shot. One is involuntary, the other one is a voluntary one. Ooh, let's go. She killed it with that one.
I don't know if my other message went through, but basically, I was arrested. The woman, they left her in my apartment. She robbed me. So all charges were actually dropped after that. And she is still currently wanted for grand larceny in New York City.
Ah, see, I knew it. Justice got to be served somewhere. I knew it. It had to be. We're going to keep going, y'all. Appreciate the love and the wait.
Finally, we start thinking about, because if this culture of digitalization and just bombardment of media is not going to stop anytime soon, then we need to start thinking about implementing countermeasures into public spaces to mitigate mass shootings. So we have fire alarms now and whatnot. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. I know people don't want to. They feel like that's a defeatist attitude, or we can't just accept that mass shootings are normal now. Yeah, unfortunately we do, because there's no real way to go after the firearms, the guns. Even if you ban assault rifles, well, somebody can turn an automatic weapon into a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon very easily. There's no real way to do it. Okay, so if people are going to continue to perpetrate mass shootings, and we're going to continue to give them and reinforce that behavior by giving the attention that they're craving, then we need to start implementing countermeasures to mitigate them in anticipation they're going to happen.
I disagree. I have to disagree with that, because just like they could take all the seeds in the world and label them and put them in Monsanto's and hide them from you, they can do the same with guns now if they wanted to. Who are the manufacturers of guns? Who's making them? We're blaming the people that buy them, but we don't blame the people that make them. You can't make but so many. The law should be you can only make but so many guns and have them so many floating around. That's it.
So that dude is really one that's talking about mass shootings. Now he's trying to blame it on people on the right. And I'd like to be specifically clear on this. Both the shooting in Colorado and the one in Atlanta, both of those people were described as far left. So that just broke down your whole idea right there.
It's the same bird, though. Left wing, right wing, same bird.
Trying to get a reaction out of
same eagle.
Because obviously, by what we're talking about, we tend to lean more right or conservative.
That's a game. I don't play them left-right games.
Little does he know. He probably has conservative values as well, as most Americans do. They just think.
No, but the media does, and that's
right.
Why
but that's the game. That's the
important.
game, and this is why we're having this conversation right now, left against right. So now, if you had a scale and the left was heavier, then the game's over. If you had a scale the right is heavier, then it's over. But when you have a balanced scale, that's what you're looking for. That's what a scale is about, balance. So if you have a plane and the left wing was going down and the right wing was higher, it's going down. It's going to fucking crash. If you had a bird has two wings. It's the same eagle, same bald-headed eagle we're talking about. But let's talk about the obverse. One wing
is broken, the bird can't fly.
I want to even talk about the bird at all. That's the tail side of the coin. The head side of the coin is what we should be talking about.
They just believe that we are the enemy because they've been told this whole orange man bad thing by the media.
The American eagle is on the same side of the coin. Y'all gotta understand, it's the same side of the coin.
We're all American, and we're all being attacked from outside and from within our country. And to say these divisive things is just bullshit in itself.
If you go back, the ancient American bird was the firebird. It was not the eagle. They changed it to the eagle because the eagle was about preying on others that are lower than them. But the phoenix, the firebird, was the one that died of its own ashes. It can be reborn again. They don't want you to know that that's the true spirit of an American.
And Bliss hitting on part of the head. And that's the thing, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like people don't recognize. So this is what's happening. People don't recognize what the media is doing. Look at the narrative. Whenever there's a mass shooting perpetrated by a white person or a white nationalist, racist, idiot person, that's wall-to-wall coverage all day, every day. There's vigils and all this shit. There's gang wars and drive-by shootings all the time. No one hears. You don't hear people about that. Police shootings, you only hear about the times a white officer killed a black suspect, which is not saying that's not happening. It does happen, but you only hear about those stories. You don't hear about knowing, and you have to know as a rational adult that can't be the only thing happening. That can't be the only scenario playing out. The media only plays those things, and so what's happening is people don't acknowledge that fact because these things already line up with their internal narratives. Hold on, one second.
Who controls the gangs? Who feeds them? Whoever feeds you has the right to starve you, and you're not going to get starved again as long as you've been eating. Who feeds the gangs? They have to be fed now.
Sorry, so it's convenient for they ignore. I refuse to believe that this many adults, these many are incapable of understanding what's happening. They know what's happening. They know the media is deliberately painting white people one picture and black people another picture, because supports their internal narrative, and it's emotionally satisfying for them. And it validates things that they've always said their whole life and what they've always believed, that, oh, see, this is what I mean. White people are just fucking racist and whatever. And so they feed into it, and they play along with it. It takes an active attempt to ignore the other aspects of reality that don't line up with that narrative. You have to make an active attempt to do that, and that's what the media is doing. They know that, and they play into it because all they care about is getting more views, more advertisers, more promotions, more Pulitzers, that kind of shit. So, yes, exactly, that's what's happening.
I agree with that. I think we're done with the messages, no? Did we go through them all?
Nah, hell no.
Oh shit! Here we go. Cause my shit froze. They told me we ain't had no more. Okay,
hold on.
Say again. Okay. Yeah, we got priorities. Yeah.
King Cooley, UPC Bliss. My eyes will tell you.
Balance.
My eyes will tell you right from wrong. If I want the fucker, son. Hey.
Balance.
That voice you hear in back of head.
Yeah. Here we go. Nephew.
What's good, you guys? How are you?
What up?
Truth talk. Hey. What up, Leah?
Hey.
Also, those that just came in, we still live on YouTube at the same time. So if you speak, know that your voice is being played on my YouTube live as we speak for UPC with King Cooley live on YouTube.
Hey, somebody tell me how this purple button work, because I be seeing people, I have more followers than them, but they got a purple button before me. So, I'm a little confused. But then again, if I get a purple button, it would serve no purpose because, I don't have a Cash App yet.
Probably one of the reasons why you have to connect all your stuff. Go to how many followers? It doesn't matter how many followers. You said you need 500 to get a purple button if you do it organically. So if you do, then just go in there and say how to, get monetized and go through the whole monetization stuff. Even though it's going to say you need a code, you don't have a code. But see, some of those that have been around a while, they have others that they have subscribed to. Like I have people that have subscribed to me and have been subscribed to me for maybe 2 weeks or so. I have had codes given to me. You only allowed a couple of codes, and I've given codes to those that are subscribed to me. So maybe somebody can either give you a code, you can get it that way, or you can get it by earning it on your own. Both ways. I hope that answered your question.
It drives me crazy about what Stereo has actually done. No, I'm tripping on how they have turned this into all of. I mean, let's say you have 16 people that you would like to follow. You couldn't afford it, and they made that like that. So you can only pick 1 or 2 people if you want to subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to pay $90 a month for it.
I agree.
It's crazy, or whatever.
This is true.
No, beloved, to be honest, everybody has the opportunity to decide what they want to charge for their subscriptions.
Right.
That's
what I
not
understand.
Stereo is not dictating that. Stereo
you can charge
is not
from
forcing
$0
people
to $20. So some people choose
literally.
Right. So some people could put this at $1 because I think that's the lowest you can do. So
it's the lowest you can do.
1 to 20.
Mine is $3.
Mine is $7.
Mine is $3.
And I have a reason
I'm out
why.
here selling tray bags of information.
Right, and I have a 7 because I'm a spiritual God. God's a spiritual 7 number.
Nah,
7
you
days
got
a week.
look. You got a lot more. You got a lot more to offer than I do.
Well, it's not even that. I just have my.
You know what I mean? I set my value at myself.
Even
you know what I'm saying? Of what?
Right. Even if you did 20, Bliss, you know what you're worth. Even if you did 20, it's not even about that. You know what you think. Yeah, you can't tell somebody else to do with their business because it's all about minding your business.
Exactly.
It's about minding your business, and it's not nothing disrespectful. But the more you mind your business,
the guy selling just chicken wings is going to charge a cheaper price than the guy who has a full service restaurant
because he has to pay for lights and gas and all this other shit. But
yeah, he has a lot more to take care of, but he also has a lot more to provide.
Right.
So you know, I don't have the same
you can sit down.
and
you can't sit down outside. You get your thing and you leave.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of different reasons why people choose what they do, and it's not Stereo's fault. But yes, you can buy stars, and you can use these stars for donations, or you can use them for.
And you can also donate. You don't have to commit to
subscribe.
Anything. If you got a few extra dollars, you can throw $2-3 at whoever you choose. You don't have to be locked into a monthly subscription.
Now, when you reverse it on your end, and now you have a purple button, you have to also realize what you're giving to people that want to hear you vibrate. It's about a resonation. It's about who vibes with you, basically. It's about family. Family is frequency. Frequency is familiar. Who's familiar? There's 150 some odd channels you can go to, and that's just in English. If you change the language, you can go to about 150 more. So you're not locked into just nobody. There's so much out here. And a lot of it is free. I have yet to I pressed my OnlyFans button a few times because it was necessary. 90% of my shit is free. It's for everybody, whether you subscribe to me or not, whether you donate to me or not. But the subscription, my subscribers, they do have different privileges.
Look, I'll put it to you like this. King Cooley shit is $7, right? I'm subscribed to King Cooley.
Right.
I called King Cooley from out of nowhere this morning at 5 minutes after 8 this morning. He picked up the jack right away. We've been on here for 2.5 hours. He ain't asked me for shit outside of that. That's not worth $7. I don't know what is.
And how many subscribers you got since we've been talking? It's not about that, but you see, it just came right back. I mean, it's nothing. You got to understand when you give, it comes right back to you.
It does. It does.
You'd be surprised how fast it does come back.
Absolutely.
And how many people I've cashed out people on a random. They're like, "Who's this? And why did you give me money?" And I'm like, "Because I just thought that whatever you was doing, I liked it. That's it. It's not all about me. I've given more than I probably received. But it's not about us. It's about the we. It's really about we. That's why Stereo did this. They want to separate you, but if we come together, and let's say we all pool our money together, UPC and Royal Family, we came up, all our subscriptions, because this person right here is about to get kicked out of their homes. Let's save them. Stereo don't want you to do that. They want you to fight each other. They want you to fight each other over these little subscriptions.
Absolutely. Obedience, sure. Yeah, I think he was describing that's called a lie of omission, man. That's one of the best lies people can tell. You put a little bit of truth in it, but you leave out the most important part.
Facts, it's still a lie. Mm-hmm.
And when I first got on here on Stereo, I noticed how Stereo created this horrible atmosphere where people were competing against each other, backbiting, and you gotta be careful.
It's what we make it. Yeah.
I think I agree with Only when she said that her whole purpose for being here was to spread light, love, and educate people. Help people be better people, including learning and growing and becoming better myself.
Absolutely.
Ooh, Generic, you are so right. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? That's the same thing Public Enemy said. It just had its song. Look it up on YouTube. What you gonna do?
Because it's gonna happen. They're gonna say, "Okay, let's shut them down for 3 days in the darkness. 3 days of darkness."
Yep.
See what happens.
Yeah. How they gonna react?
They're gonna. It's gonna be crazy.
So something that I'm going to be honest said triggered something that I would like everybody to know that's listening. So they're trying to put a level 4 bio research facility, which is the same thing that they have in Wuhan, where COVID supposedly came from, that studies both animal and human viruses. They create them there, and there are no known vaccines or cures. They're trying to put this in Kansas, in our beef belts. Everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to talk about this. The city is Manhattan, state Kansas, and they are trying to do this. It's not done yet.
You know, that's funny, King, because I just saw a clip yesterday of a woman sitting in the street. It appeared to be a West Indian woman sitting in the street, and she said she was protesting the killing of George Floyd, and there was an activist or whatever, and this just happened to be in Manhattan, Kansas. So you see how some shit is coming down the pipeline, or some information that Jen Rich just said, but in order to paint the narrative and steer your mind away, they give you some old weird ass situation in this place, and that's what they flood social media with.
Right.
Fucking insane. Like, I literally just saw that clip at like 3 o'clock this morning. That's nuts.
Right.
But let's keep popping.
Well, also, why Kansas? We were just talking about Dorothy now.
Yeah, right.
Shout out Bliss 126 Emperor. Shout out Emperor King Cool in the building.
Pharaoh
family. Yeah, what's going on? Steve Pharaoh rolling through. You know, new era. Pharaoh of the new era. You know, we family, Empire family. Let's go. Let's grow, my bros.
Let's grow. I thought you wanted the link to the YouTube link. You could have came up live with me, my brother.
They're trying to move it from Plum Island, which is now incapable of, I think they've said it's at such a high toxicity rate that it cannot support life.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Links Road.
It cannot support life any longer because they were going to sell this island. And they can't sell it because it is so toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So, Manhattan, Kansas, level 4 bioweapons.
Next right onto Links Road, then turn left.
Yo, you know what? Is anybody thinking about developing your telepathy?
Of course.
Because,
every day.
You know, how about alchemy?
Every day.
I don't know.
Of course. Yeah, you better.
So this note, okay, King Cooley, and with all due respect, not all policing organizations started as quote unquote slave catchers and whatnot. That this narrative's been pushed. In the South, the primary publicly funded police organizations that were created were for that purpose. But the actual first publicly funded police system in the United States was in Boston. It was in 1838, and their job was not, and then to slaves, it was about protecting the shipments because it was a port city, and so there was too many shipments being robbed and whatnot, and so their primary function was to protect the shipments that were coming in. Countries around the world have law enforcement apparatuses and whatnot. So yes, some parts in the South, and that's what people want to focus on, were created to preserve the slave system, but not all police institutions were. You need some kind of law enforcement apparatus. That's the thing. Hold on, one more message.
Not if everybody already knows the law. First of all, divine law. Do you need a law apparatus for the sun to come up and go down? Who's its police? Who's the squirrel's police? Who's the police of the pigeons? Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop. Let's not do the media game with me, please. Brother, you said funded police. I never used the word funded police. That's the trick. You're tricking us now. Stop playing. I don't play those tricks. Sorry, no disrespect.
The only alternative to having a publicly funded
I never use those words.
The only alternative
These are your words.
If you remove that, which is what a lot of people want, there's a vacuum, and so the only thing that will fill that vacuum is private. As Bliss was referring to, privatized police.
Okay, now we're talking.
Now, you don't want privatized police.
But that's how it started.
Okay, I mean, some people might, like some people who have means and well established. If you're wealthy, you would love a private police force because they would essentially be your goons. You'd be funding them primarily and directly, not indirectly, like taxes, like directly funding them, and they would basically be your goons. If you are of no means and you're in poverty and whatnot, you do not want a private police force because when things happen to you, no one's going to give a shit. To a further degree than they don't now, and it's going to be really bad. So that's the only logical alternative to public police force.
You can't mix water with oil. Public is public, private is private. It started privately. It has always been private. It's still private. There's no such thing as a public police force. They work for the private policy controllers. Who controls policy? Who are the policy officers or police officer? Word police come from policy, not law. Who are the policy control? Who controls policy but corporations? Corpses. The word corporation come from corpse. Let the dead bury the dead. You're talking to an intelligent people now. We can't let's not trick this. Let's not mix this water up.
What I also want to point out, you gotta remember why the police force was formed in the first place.
That's what I said.
You know, it started in the 1900s, but
earlier,
its origins date
1800s.
back to the colonies. Okay, and in the South, in the 1700s, police were patrol groups, and they were created to stop runaway slaves.
Thank you. To this day, they still stopping runaways from slaves.
Police were formed to, they were created to control immigrants who were moving into the cities in the 1800s. So now, move forward.
If you outside the law, you were an outlaw. Now they have all kind of names for it, but you were outside the law, outside the jurisdiction. So they had people to come and snatch you up and bring you into jurisdiction, and now you are a slave.
Sorry, last point. If not a private police institution, then the only other alternative is a nationally public funded policing system.
Do you need somebody to police
those are your
you
options.
every day?
Locally funded public police force, privatized security firms, essentially facilitating policing activities, or a nationally funded policing system. So those are the three options. Nothing else will take root. There won't be any environment where there's no policing function or law enforcement function in an area at all. If there's no police in an area, either gangs will take over, criminal elements will take over, or privatized policing forces, or a national police force. Those are your options. So,
not necessarily true. You only need to be policed around people who need policing. If you know you are not capable of controlling your own self, then yeah, you need a police officer. I don't need nobody policing me, bro. Not nobody.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, but you know what? That case with the person that was in the roommate, whose name was on the lease? That's who should have. The other person should have been put out. Because I know a situation where a friend of mine was living with another friend, and there was an altercation. Police were called, and they were like, "Well, I'm taking my stuff," and the police, and of course, the other person knew it was their stuff, but they said, "No, you're not taking anything out of my house." And the police, he was like, "But it's my stuff." And the police said, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go to court and get it." A repletion. Yep.
Right.
And they told him, "We're not the judge and the jury. You have to go to court. All we're here to do is just make sure nobody gets hurt or keep the peace.
Well, we're talking about two different things now. One is about lease and contracts. The other one is about possession is 9/10 of the law. So whoever's in possession of it, it belongs to them until you can prove otherwise. Period.
Fact.
That's why this whole thing about property, calling yourself black, Negro, colored, and all that, you are somebody's property. By calling yourself a citizen of the United States, you're property of the United States. Property. You're subject. Look at what these words mean. Subject, citizen, subject of what? Of the United States. Who's the United States? It's a corporation that exists on paper. How are you going to be slave to something that exists only on paper? I know. Y'all going to tell me, what do you mean? Yeah, I know. That's a private conversation.
I mean, I think two Chicago gangs were started off as more of a business thing than of a gang. Larry Hoover, when he started Gangster Disciples, I think that was more so of like he was trying to start a business with that.
Of course.
Rather than have a gang.
Of course.
Things went left.
Disciples. El Rukins. It was all spiritually based at first. It got twisted and turned later. Why Chicago? They called it the Mecca amongst the spiritual people. They know that's the Mecca. This is the Medina, or vice versa. But why? Why?
Hold the comments, please. Hold the comments.
Who are the lost tribes of Shabazz, and why did they come through Chicago? The 5 Great Lakes that goes down through, that feeds the Mississippi River, and it goes past Cairo, Illinois, and Memphis, Tennessee. Is the Mississippi River similar to the Nile River, where we tricked into thinking that Egypt is over there and it could be over here? I don't know, but it's worth finding out. You have Moab, Utah. Canada is Canaan land, possibly. Who knows? It all kind of makes sense to me. Yeah. Why they want to come after certain individuals.
So one of the biggest reasons that we don't want this to happen in Manhattan, Kansas, is because they flood. They get tornadoes. Like, there's all kinds of things that could happen in Kansas that could disrupt this facility. And it would lead to our entire food source going down. I'm a vegetarian, and it's scary as shit to me. Like, I don't even eat that, and it's scary to me. But this, and the reason they're doing it is the reason they do everything. They're trying to kill us. Whether anybody believes it yet or not, they're fucking trying to kill us.
Well, I'm going to say a few things. Kansas is the heart chakra of the United States. Kansas is the center. You can Google it. Kansas is the center of America. Period. So they're gonna go through Kansas, which is why they had the Wizard of Oz come from Kansas. But I'm gonna tell Jennifer, click your heels 3 times. You're already home, which means do not let those fears get you. It's about loving where you're at. Where does the word Manhattan come from? A man with a hat and a tan. They talking about the Moor, the tan Moor who came when they got here. He had a hat and tan in the man. Yeah. So Manhattan. Kansas is talking about the man with a hat and the tan, talking about the heart chakra. That's me. Pay attention.
Cool. I'm not sure what you're getting at. If we don't have any kind of law enforcement apparatus of any kind, chaos will ensue.
Not true.
Human beings
Prove it.
Be more violent towards each other.
And
commit crime. That's just what's going to happen.
You got to prove that.
I'm not going to hurt anybody, but it's not just about me. There's 340 million people in this country.
So you're not thinking,
and a lot of them.
That's not having nothing to do with
enjoy hurting other people and want to take their shit and everything. That's just the reality of the world. So you need order. If you don't have order,
your thinking,
or some means to enforce order, there's only chaos as the alternative.
That's your thinking.
I don't know what you're getting at. It's not this notion that we can all live peacefully without any kind of order. Force is it's idyllic.
Let me address this, King. Let me address it real quick, and then you can finish up. Let me address it real quick.
Of course, there has to be law and order. But we're too busy worrying about the law and order externally.
Of man.
That's the problem. Nobody's paying attention to the law and order that needs to be had internally. Because if everybody policed their fucking self, if everybody had law and order within their own movements, within their own structure, all 340 million, then there would be no need for a police officer. But policing is something that we should be doing for ourselves, correcting ourselves, holding ourselves accountable. All of these are internal things. So while I understand the viewpoint, and this is one rare instance where I think that I'm not going to say I disagree with, I'm going to be honest, but I just think my view of what he's saying differs to a certain extent. Whereas we need to be that change, period. And it starts internally. And as we make those movements, as you continue to be who you are, and you're moving in a positive light, you and I have, had tons of dialogue. So I know. You know who you are as a person and your genuine nature. But at the end of the day, the reality of it is that a lot of the history that we know and have been taught, when it comes to the colorization of America, okay, that's what I'll call it, okay? When it comes to the colorization of America, a lot of it is a fucking lie. So as much as we want to research it with an open heart and an open mind and make conscious decisions, even the opposite narrative for them was contrived. So I just want to point that out. I appreciate everybody coming in.
I appreciate him as well.
Oh, you got a fan. Pop this last
one second. I just wanted to address it real quick. You're just overthinking it, my brother. It all has to really do with you. You're the beginning, the end, the everything, the all. It starts with you. Fact. It ends with you. We all just reflections of you. So when you create these narratives and thoughts into your cells, into your mind, it becomes your reality in real life. So I know it's real for you. I can hear the passion. I can hear it. But it doesn't have to be. We can change that narrative within your own thoughts and cells. And I get it because I'm a military guy. I understand. But I also realize that we are the power. We are the controller. We're the co-creators of our existence. And we just have to become the co-creators and not the co-creatures. Yeah, there's a bunch of creeps and creatures out here. But you, as the inner G, the inner God, can defeat your inner me, the enemy within. Starts with you, ends with you, begins and ends with us. So, and I also want to say, when you said police enforcement, the word enforcement means the police, the policy officers have to enforce you to follow suit. It shouldn't be enforcement. It should be natural. It shouldn't be enforcement. There should be no enforcing. It's already natural to do what we know to do, to obey the law. It's within you. Divine laws within. Man's law needs enforcing.
Grand Rising, King Cooley. Just wanted to stop by and say Grand Rising.
Say you're queen.
Hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Empress. So Sariri Queen, one of my super friends. Peace and love to you.
Yo, on that note, man, listen, bro. I appreciate you spending this morning. I appreciate
you too, man. All the UPC and my brother.
There was far more enlightening, as it always is, as one could imagine.
Right, and I just want people to understand that there was no debate here, because
not at all.
Because debate is the bait. They want us to have the baits so we're gonna be on each other's hook and swing and be like a fish on a hook. We're not doing that here. We're arguing, which means it's okay to argue points because that's the only way to get clarity. You argue points in court so you can get clear. You can be free of the things that used to chain us before. So it's okay. And I appreciate my brother. I got nothing but love for my brother.
Yeah. And I love you, my brother.
I love you too, man. And everybody in your room.
As I always say to close it out, man, thank everybody for joining in, chiming in with us, making those comments, concerns, your donations, your subscriptions, your follows, your claps, your shares, all of that stuff matters to me, and I know it matters to the Emperor King.
Oh, but for sure. And all the followers I got today, it's amazing. I'm gonna follow you all back.
Yeah, I truly appreciate you, beloved, for taking the time out this morning.